And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Let's go, guys. I hope you like that. How's everybody doing today? Fiber Finals hype. Let's go. Here we are. The second in a row of dump trucks. Fiber format monthly finals number 2. Having a blast with chain. Anyway. Yeah, this would be exciting. First of all, oh shit, hold on a second. Let's go through the bracket. First of all, let's introduce our finalists to the stage. One you may recognize, just maybe. He's a little someone named Big Ben from YGO from Zero. And let me tell you something about this guy. Not only is he hit the finals again in the winner's bracket, he's got a bit of a track record. The FFM01, he sealed that. Undefeated. Undefeated last time. You saw it last month. Crushed it. Totally annihilated. But we have a new finalist coming in for this tournament. Someone new that came in from the I don't like to call it the loser's bracket. I like to just call it the lower bracket. Yours truly. We have a second finalist, Gyomberman. I hope I say his name right. I see you guys in the chat. Gyomber here is in the chat. And he's ready to usurp the king of fiber here. He is ready. He is ready to take down bsocks and his undefeated streak. But it is bsocks. He's been killing it. He's also been killing it in Yugi Kaibo. He's playing the tournament. He could walk away with another victory in his belt. Actually, before we start the match, I thought I'd maybe get some of his thoughts in from bsocks. Let me ring him up. Let me call up bsocks and let's see what he thinks about this. Excuse the why does the Discord sound so loud? Stand by. Sorry guys, this is really loud. bsocks, welcome to another Fiber Format Monthly Finals. First of all, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I think my deck is pretty good. Gyomber's deck is also pretty good, and it does have some things in the main that might give my deck some trouble. But I'm feeling good. I don't want to get too much into the theory of what my deck's doing and stuff. I figured that I could save that for after the games, but I think this could definitely go either way. Sure, Gyomber has to win 2 games as opposed to my 1, but I mean, they're a great duelist, and I think that anything can happen in fiber format, so I'm excited.
Based on what we've seen, based on the whole run through the tournament, we've seen some long games, we've seen some short games, we've seen some unfair games, we've seen the saggage, we've seen the whole package. We've seen the saggage and the package, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we actually got Gyomber in the chat down here.
Oh, they figured out all my 55 cards. Uh-oh.
Oh, jeez.
That's kind of surprising because I feel like I haven't gone into some of my side deck yet. But I don't know. Gyomber's got the info.
You're playing a different list, definitely.
Yep.
That's for sure. But everything's left to surprise because even if you know an opponent's list, they may not be may not stop you because you still have all the power in your dispensal.
Yeah, but they got the power too, so I'm ready to throw down. I won't go down without a fight. No, you know, if you want to take this championship belt from me, you have to pry it from my cold, losing hands.
Oh my God! Look at him. Oh, look at Bisa. He's so confident. So confident. Well, you know what? Gyomber did recently take the Warrior Tournament Championship home. So
That's true.
we are dealing with a YFC champion versus the YFC creator.
Yeah, and he's done very well this tournament overall. So you know what, I'm not getting intimidated, but you know, I'm looking forward to an intense match. I'm sure this won't be easy for either of us, whoever walks away with it. Or maybe it will be easy, and maybe we'll just open IO like every game and
Well, for
sack my
entertainment
opponent.
purposes, let's just see how that luck favors out for this stream.
Yeah.
Gio's showing
So-
some lack of confidence. bsocks gonna crush him badly. Well, you got what? You
I
got the edge of
believe.
confidence. So, anyway, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna get started with your match, and we're gonna witness a show here. So, good luck, and I'll see you in the call afterwards.
Yeah, and good luck to my opponent as well. This should be a very exciting one. So
Right
see
on.
y'all on the flip side.
See you on the flip side, the fiber flip side. Anyway, I won't keep you guys for too much longer. It's been quite a tournament. It's gone pretty fast paced, all things considered. Started just less than 2 weeks ago. And now, I'm just going to quickly jump on the dueling book here. And we won't keep you guys waiting any longer. Skip past the main menu. And now once we get hosted up here, the moment will begin. We'll see what happens. Is bsocks going to walk away with another crown? The broccoli rocket crown. Oh my god, this is gonna be a nightmare. I can't talk today. The broccoli rocket crown. Just a second to let Gio into the chat. How's everybody in chat today? You guys feeling good? Excited? Chat, let me know your thought. Let me know who you're putting your money on. Who are we putting our bets on? Are we putting on the champion or the creator? Jumping back quickly, we noticed bsocks this time around is on a recruiter package, and they were on a gear-free deck before. You will be seeing some tomatoes, you will be seeing some rats, and Gyomber is going to be rocking the Beast Spellcaster package, the Android format special. Excuse me for a second. Excuse me, like check in. And well, looks like I tabbed away too early, and they've actually started their match. So we got a show on our hands, everybody. And it looks like bsocks has won the RPs right off the bat. Going in for his first play. This first turn can be dangerous. Oh, coming to the painful choice. This first turn could be nasty. It's so easy to draw into Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity, the combination of all three, the combination of multiple hand rips. Let's see what bsocks pulls in off this painful choice here. See the hand rips coming in. The Jinzo coming down. bsocks wanting quick access to Jinzo. You gotta think about this. These first 5 cards gonna be very open. Oh, it's gonna be very important. The Yada coming in, very important because it's also gonna dictate what his future draws may come when it comes to cards like Pot of Greed, Graceful Charity. Gyomber's gonna give him the Yada Garasu. bsocks could possibly have a form of Monster Revival, a premature Call the Haunted, or the likes. Setting up Sangan Jinzo in the grave. It's going to set T-pose, pass back to Gyomber. Confiscation's going to come down. It's going to that 1,000 down to bsocks have the IO. Nope. Gyomberman's going to come in with the hand rip. He may be looking to snipe that Yatagarasu, looking to snipe something else. Gyomberman likely picking that Yata just to be able to quickly scope it out. Yeah, he's going to hit the Yatagarasu. He's not going to let himself get locked in, but it's not the end of the world for losing Yata, because that Fiber Jar can throw it back into the deck. But Gyomberman is on the Kaiku, the Ghost Destroyers, multiples, so he could be possibly looking to get out. Witch of the Black Forest coming in. The Monster Reborn's going to come in. He's going to try and steal that opponent's Jinzo. bsocks not having to call the Haunted to respond. No IO to stop it. Jinzo's going to come in. Gyomberman's going to go for an aggressive push early. Throwing into the set. Hits a Witch. Going to take a small bit of reflection damage. He's going to have to use Jinzo to clear out the Witch. bsocks is going to get a search off. He could possibly dig into Exile, dig into Lily to clear out the Jinzo. He's going to look for the Bazoo. bsocks also running the Bazoo to Soul Eaters. Could be a bit trouble because Gyomberman is on multiple Kaiko to Ghost Destroyers. Gyomberman is main phase 2. Having board control, both players have even card counts. He's going to think about his next play. Coming in, oh, he's got a second hand rip at the Forceful Sentry. Gonna shovel that Bazoo right back in the deck. He's gonna keep that Jinzo alive. Gyomberman having access to 2 hand rips early. Gee, Mom, how come your format lets you have 3 hand rips? Sometimes 4. You can get a 4th one if you're on the Gear-Free Snow Thief of the Grenade package. bsocks up against the board. Oh, he's got the Raigeki to clear that out. He has multiple answers to respond to Gio's board. Gio does have the Witch that's destroyed. He's gonna pull out another monster from his deck. Going to the Bazoo, he really wants to get the punch on bsocks early. bsocks going to set down, pass back. Both players on even card counts. bsocks slight life points lead. But given the nature of the format, it can quickly change. No players drawn into a Pot of Greed or Graceful Charity yet. The MST clears out the Harpies, the Pro Set Harpies. Gonna set. Pass back over to bsocks. Does bsocks have an answer to the board? Exiled 4 is gonna come in. Snipe the set down. Is a Sinister Serpent. Gio did bait the Exiled Force. Though it could have been as much of a... It could have been hit by Nox, so... Nice defensive measures. Sinister Serpent's gonna loop back to the hand. Or, it's not a loop, sorry, it's just a jump back to the hand. Gio possibly setting the same Serpent, setting a new set card down. Pass back over to bsocks. Very, very quiet game state at the moment. A lot of plays made early. bsocks is going to do nothing, pass back to Gio. I apologize to Gyomberman if I mispronounce his name. Or I apologize to anyone if I mispronounce the names. Oh, the Kaiku's going to come down. Gyomberman's going to look for an aggressive push. Sinister Serpent going to hit the set card. It clears the Serpent. Very smart. Kaiku's going to come in for a direct hit. Going to take out the Sinister Serpent and the Jinzo. Cutting off bsocks. Gyomberman getting a calculated attack in. bsocks going to have to clear out this Kaiku lest he lose access to more of his powerful cards. Could lose access to some of his powerful tools. bsocks in a small bit of a pickle. Charity's going to be dropped. The first charity of the game. Doesn't have Serpent for discard fodder. He's going to have to drop 2 other pieces. Gotta think about his next 2 discards. It's going to be very important to dictate the flow of the game. He has to find a way to get past the Kaiku, regaining control of the board. It's going to be a very big thing. bsocks does not want to take the wrong discards, lest he continues to get pummeled by Kaiku and fall further behind. Graceful Charity being a cornerstone of this format and the previous one, as one can just completely swing a game entirely in their favor, just opening up the draw package, going right into the discard package. I had faced Gyomberman in my run the turn. I'll tell you what, our game lasted 5 minutes total. It was if you watch the replay, it was the most abrupt game of fiber I'd ever played. Our matches were, by mathematical standards, approximately less than 2 minutes apiece, if you do the math. It's going to drop Bazoo and Kaiku. Bazoo not going to fare well. The Monster Reborn's going to come out. Exiled is going to be called out. Going to get rid of the Kaiku here. Oh, and he's getting the Serpent. He's going to creature swap. Going to give him the Giant Rat. The first of the recruiter packages coming in. He's going to get control of that Kaiku. Very smart play of bsocks with the creature swap Giant Rat. He's going to get access to possibly Injection Fairy Load. He's going to go in for a direct hit. bsocks doing a big swing off the Charity. It's going to take we're down to 3,100. bsocks at 42. bsocks completely swinging this game in his favor. Creature swap doing some incredible work. I've been finding it to be a very powerful card in this format. Getting control of an opponent's beater, like an Elf or a Kaiku or Bazoo, even Lily, giving them a recruiter, hitting into that recruiter, then calling out another monster from the deck, doing these very swingy, kind of aggressive pushes. Geo is down. Gyomberman is down. I keep saying his name wrong. Wow, that one Charity getting all the pieces he needs, completely sealing the win. bsocks is going to be 1-0 going into this final match. Gyomberman is on the back foot going into this match. Going to have to dig deep to not only win this match, but win the following match after. The clutch Graceful Charity coming in to save bsocks. Gyomber having to consider the recruiter package and creature swap combo to get quick control of the game. As you can see, going into round 2, Gyomber's going to start. Let's see how powerful his opening hand is. Let's see what he opens up on. Forceful Sentry, Hand Rip going to come in. Coming in with a card being shuffled back in. We got the Raigeki, we got the Giant Rat, got the Bazoo, got the Dusters, and shuffle Imperial Order back in the deck. Gyomberman not willing to risk being locked out of spell cards. Imperial Order being a completely disgusting floodgate, cutting off at least a third of a player's deck when it sits on the board. Matches become very difficult. Both players going to go for a T-pose. Setting the board. Gyomberman having one card up above bsocks. He's going to tribute to Tomato. Is he coming in with the Dark Ruler Hades is coming out. Gyomberman has been running the Hades. A very powerful card going against the Recruiters, Sangan, Witch, Serpent. Yes, it does have its drawbacks, but ultimately it is a very clutch, not clutch card, very strong card dealing with his Recruiters. Raigeki's going to come and clear the entire board. bsocks having the magic Raigeki to once again swing the board around, clearing not only the scapegoats, but Hades himself. Sangan's coming in for a direct hit. Very important with bsocks clearing that Dark Lord Hades, as that could have been kept pummeling his monsters, and bsocks wouldn't be able to get his Recruiter searches off, or his Sangan searches, or Witch of the Black Forest, or a lot of various cards. Even the Fiber Jar. Having Hades or another Fiend while Hades is on the board, you can please shut off that Fiber Jar. Doesn't have to worry about that getting bounced back to the deck. Gyomber had set of monsters. versus this lone Sangan with a set card. So I shouldn't say lone Sangan. Sangan's going to switch to defense. Pass back to Gyomberman. Gyomber having slightly more cards, 5 cards to 4, is no longer worried about Raigeki, no longer worried about Harpy's Feather Duster. Gonna set another monster. Possible risk running into Torrential Tribute, or possibly a bsocks has drawn into a Dark Hole. Set a monster, set a spell. bsocks' turn. Gonna pass it back over to Gyomberman. Gyomberman, having lost that board from earlier, is able to build one right back up, though there is always added risk. Magician of Fate's gonna come out. He's gonna loop back. He's gonna loop back that Force of Sentry. He's gonna either clear the Sangan, get rid of that Swert, get rid of that Search. Yeah, he's gonna get rid of that Search. Sangan's gonna become flipped up. He's gonna hit the bsocks. He's gonna search out a card from his deck. bsocks might be, if bsocks has a Mirror Force, he might be waiting to hit this board now. Magician of Fate's gonna come in. 300. Kaiku's gonna come in for that 1800. He's gonna lose 2. He's gonna lose his Rat, gonna lose his Sangan. Forceful Sentry's gonna be dropped down. He's gonna. Oh, the IO is gonna come out to negate. bsocks must have drawn that IO once again after having it Forceful Sentry back into the deck. bsocks drops the IO, ready to make a push. He must have maybe buffering a Graceful Charity, maybe buffering a Pot of Greed in hand. There comes a Pot of Greed, gonna pull 2, possibly drawing into another power card. Graceful Charity's gonna come in. Here comes the combo. Here comes the spell card smackdown. That IO coming clutch right as Gyomberman's Forceful Sentry come in, not risking losing a card back into the deck. Graceful, he's gonna drop down Jinzo and Sinister Serpent. bsocks holding 6 cards in hand, ready to make the big play. The Reborn's gonna come out. He's gonna look to hit that Jinzo, possibly. Yep, Jinzo's gonna come. bsocks could be looking to just clear the Kaiku or deal some damage, swing into the Magician of Faith. The Elf's gonna come down, protect himself from Torrential Tribute or other trap cards. bsocks once again swinging and gaining control of the game. But Geo could have a play lined up ready to counteract. The Snatch Steal. Oh, we got the combo of spell cards coming in. The Monster Reborn, the Snatch Steal, the Pot of Greed, the Graceful Charity coming in on a single turn. Al's going to clear that Sangan. Gyomberman's going to get a search off with the Sangan. He could possibly, but bsocks could possibly want to have his hand rips buffered. In response to Sangan's search, as Player's been doing. Jinzo's going to come in, 2100 damage off that hit. And then the Kaiku's going to come in for a direct hit. Gyomberman not having an answer to this. He's pushed down to 2200 off that Kaiku, and he's going to lose his Sangan and his Mystic Tomato in the graveyard. Gyomberman in a critical situation. Can Gyomberman swing this game around in his favor? He's going to get that 1000 life points from Snatch Steal. He has no access to trap cards currently. The Dark Hole is going to come out and solve the problem. He is still in the game. He's still in the fight. That Premature Burial is going to come in. He's going to lose out 800 life points. bsocks has no monsters on the board. He's going to even the Kaiku out. Falcons comes in. That's direct hit onto bsocks. Going to cut bsocks off from Sinister Serpent and a Jinzo. Main phase 2. Set a monster. Pass back. Gyomberman getting control. Staying alive in this game too. Poor Geo has not drawn into a single Graceful Charity. I don't think a Pot of Greed either to help gain leverage. He has drawn some hand rips, but he's not quite getting that magical Angel Charity. bsocks going in to crash the Kaikus. Oh no, he's going to set it into the set monster. He's going to hit the Serpent. Wanting to keep Kaiko on the board. Force of Sentry is going to come out. Going to shuffle that Bazoo back to the deck. Lone Kaiko on the board. Gyomberman's turn is coming up. It's going to take that Serpent back to hand. And he finally draws into the Pot of Greed. Looking to take advantage of the game. That Dark Hole Familiar coming in clutch. He's going to crash the Kaiko to Ghost Destroyers. Maybe he's going to set down a monster. Set his back row. Set all of his back row. Hopefully not walking into a trap. bsocks doesn't have Harpy's Feather Duster. Unknown if he is running Heavy Storm. Bazoo's going to be dropped. The Torrential's going to come down instantly. Very good combo with Torrential and Serpent. Serpent is just going to be looped back to hand. Or Comber 10. Going to set that down. Unfortunately, Pot of Greed not giving Gyomberman a huge swing in his favor. Tomato's going to come down. Gyomberman's going to think about this response. Considering his options. He's going to drop the second Torrential Tribute. Going to clear Tomato and Serpent, not letting bsocks have any floaters in the field. Serpent doing some work. Bazoo's going to get down. He's going to banish 3 cards, juice that up to 2,500. It's going to go for a direct hit. Put him just below 2,000. He can't turn the game around with Injection Fairy Lily. He's going to set back. Pass back over to Gyomberman. The Zombara the Dark's going to come in. If Gyomberman can successfully clear this set monster, get a direct hit. Oh, it's a giant rat. It's going to attack into the other rat. bsocks going to take 200. Rat's going to search out either another rat or the Exiled Force is coming out. bsocks looking to clear out one of his monsters. Gyomberman is now going to go for the banish one. Banish 2. Going to 2,200. bsocks still having access to Change of Heart to possibly swing for a push for game. Oh, Graceful Charity coming in. Could be digging out that answer. IO is going to be dropped, and bsocks doesn't have a MST to negate it. bsocks can be forced to find other means to get rid of this monster board. He's going to drop his own Bazoo. Looking to pump that up to 2. bsocks looking to pump that Bazoo slowly up to 2,500. He's going to swing in, kill the Zombara, push Gyomberman down to less than 2,000 life points. Can use Exile Force, clear the next Bazoo. Gyomberman not having the life points for Fairy Lily, but will he keep IO on the board from their turn? bsocks only having one other card in hand, not having no more Graceful Cherries, and he's going to keep that IO rolling. Going to set that monster. Set a spell trap, back over to bsocks, still under IO. That Bazoo's points are reset. Bazoo going to come in for an attack. Hits a Tomato. Going to call out the Witch. Set. Pass back over to Geo. That Bazoo sitting at 1,600 attack points. Geo, very risky situation, paying for that IO. He's going to go down to 400 life points. Hopefully Geo has the right means. He's going to go on the defense. IO will only last one more turn before Geo has to discard it. Or, not discard it, destroy it. Can bsocks find a way to clench this victory? Or can Geo make a comeback and push it to game 3? Battle phase. Bazoo gonna come in, hit the Sinister Serpent. Gonna set a card. Pass it over to Gyomberman. Gyomberman forced to get rid of Imperial Order, not having enough life points to pay for its cost. Keeping bsocks at bay for that one more turn. He must be able to get a hold and win this game out, as bsocks could have multiple spells buffered into his favor. That Call the Honda is going to be dropped. Does bsocks have an MST to counter? Call the Honda looking to bring back that Zumbara the Dark from the grave. MST is going to stop it. Gyomberman is going to set another pass back over the bsocks. bsocks no longer under Imperial Order has a chance to win this out. Is he going to banish more cards for Bazoo? Could be anyone's game. The painful choice is going to be revealed. Gyomberman not having an answer. IO is out, and I don't think he's running any spell trap negates. The very few that there are. From his deck, possibly looking into a way to just get that last 400 damage in onto Gyomberman. Very big thing. bsocks needs to find a way to possibly finish this out before Gyomberman draws another card and swings the game back. Looking at Gyomberman's grave, he still has access to Graceful Charities, still has access to a lot of his own power cards, just hasn't been able to pull into all of them. Had a few power traps. Just not getting those spell cards. We got one being creature swap. Both of them. Possibly looking to swap things around. He's going to pull out the tomato. Could be possibly looking to simply deck thin. He's looking for that recruiter swap combo. Gyomberman probably not wanting to give, likely not wanting to give bsocks an ability to swap his monsters around. He's going to give him the tomato. Doesn't want to give him access to Witch. No longer worried about having to get swapped around. The tomato's going to come down. Geo is out 2 Torrential Tributes, but does he have a third set? The summon appears to be clean. The Fairy Lily's coming out. bsocks is looking to deal some... No, he can't actually deal damage because that's out 200 life points. Tomato's going to come out. Clear that Witch. And that's a GG. bsocks very wisely hitting Fairy Lily with that. And that's going to be it. That is going to be it. bsocks, undefeated, undisputed champion of the Fiber Format Monthly, taking his second victory in a row, and has not between 2 tournaments been defeated. Gyomberman had a very difficult time drawing into his power cards, getting into those Graceful Charities. Still playing well despite the circumstances, but unfortunately just couldn't pull control of the game. And bsocks is going to clinch that final match. Jano says Gyomberman trying his best to bring it back. Yes, he was. This is absolute dominance in the Fiber Format Tournament. bsocks, the now 2-time Fiber Crown holder. I would love to hear both these players' thoughts on the match, on the tournament, on being a champion. bsocks was definitely super confident coming into this final match. Gyomberman having some doubts. Not saying that was the case, as it does come down both players having a strong amount of skill expression. bsocks having a small bit of luck, small higher luck in his favor. That was enough to clinch him the victory. Let's see if we can get these guys into the lobby while we view this replay of this duel. bsocks, the undefeated, undisputed, two-time champion now. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, and I want to give a big shout out to Gyomberman because they played really, really well in those games. But I do think like sometimes it does come down to luck. And I'm not saying I got like the luckiest thing or Gyomber was the most unlucky in the world, but sometimes a little bit of luck can go a long way. And also I think too, sometimes it just comes down to taking risks, right? Like in game one, I took a major risk because basically I invested all of my cards into one play. And I think that it was still the best play, but there could have been easily hands that Gyomber had to dismantle that board and turn the game around completely. And same with this last game here. Like I was sort of like, well, they haven't used the back row up. And I've been attacking with Bazoo, so like you'd think that might be something that they want to clear and then try and attack in to deal that last bit of damage to me. So I was like, well, okay, they might not have Mirror Force here, but they could have easily had it and were just saving it for when I made a big push. So a lot of it comes down to risk, and luckily the risk paid off for me here, but in other sort of worlds, I could definitely see it going a different way.
Having watched both games, you took some very big things and made some very calculated risk, and the key word I think was calculated aggression. Actually, with the game one here coming in with you had the graceful charity, and you were faced with the task of like choosing the two cards to throw away, and you just had the combo you needed to lock Gyomberman out of that first game there.
Yeah, and I could have taken it slow too. Like there were alternate paths there that would have been a bit more conservative and resistant to like if Gyomber did have the out to the board that I set up. But I was just like, well, this is a pretty big blow. They lose their Sinister Serpent, so that cuts off like defensive resources. They have Bazoo in hand already, which is shut off by taking their Kaiku. And I'm getting in for a ton of damage here, so they're in a very fragile position. So I was just like, this does use up all my resources, but I do think it is the best play. And as you said, it was calculated, right? It was like, well, if they've got what they've got to deal with what I've set up here, then that's what it is, and I'll happily take the loss there. But I think most of the time they don't have that, and that was the case in that game there. So
well, it is very
worked out
cool
very well
that even in a format like this with double graceful charity, the pot of greed, the complete blow cards, you can still find some room for skill expression and for making the right calls on cards, making right calls on discards. It is not just completely just throw down the cards and automatically win the game. There's still some thought that needs to be put into it.
Yeah, and I think that is sort of something that we've learned going through all these old DM era formats where some formats are more about tempo, more aggressive. Vampire format's a good example of that. I think the Fiber is with them there, where you do have to get pretty aggressive. Fiber Jar changes the game a lot. Injection Fairy Lily changes the game a lot, and the explosivity of some combos is something that you always have to keep in mind. And that's sort of what happened here. And game two was a long, grindier game, and that shows that in addition to having games where it can go very explosively, you also have games that can be a bit more of a grind. And so these were very, very good. Gyomber played them extremely well, but in the end, it just broke my way. So very good stuff.
Very much about what we've been exploring and what we've been talking about on like the YGO server is trying to break away from that surface level speculation where people look at formats, they see Graceful Charity, they see Magical Scientist, they see Yatagarasu, and they simply assume those formats are unplayable. You can't do anything. It's all they just play their cards and they automatically win. I mean, occasionally that does happen, but it's not as consistent as one might seem. Things can skew to one player's side more than another, but as we just were talking about, there's still a lot of thought to be put into it.
Yeah, and if you think about it, like if you look at like Goat or Edison, there are definitely games there where your opponent just like opens Trinity and Goat and then dust shoots you, and you're just like, well, I can't win this game, right? And so it's like there are non-games in every format, no matter how skillful, because game like Yu-Gi-Oh is ultimately a game of variance, right? So there's going to be games where one player opens the nuts, the other player doesn't open very well at all, and it's just a steamroll, right? That's why we play best of three, because in best of three, it sort of lessens the odds that every game in the match is going to go like that. And I do think that, like, as you say, it does happen sometimes in these DM era formats, but you're absolutely right that, like, people out there looking at this format, maybe they see Fiber Jar, maybe they see, Double Graceful, as you mentioned, they're like, oh, this is trash. I do think that, like, if you actually play a couple games, like, and play, even if you get sacked on your first game, because that does happen. Sometimes people just get sacked right out the gate, and they're just like, oh, I can't play this format anymore. But I think, like, it's good to sort of give it a chance, and also always go into it with the mindset of like, okay, what can I do to improve? Because even when you get sacked, like, I do think that there are often different lines of play that you could have taken and things like that, just things to increase your chances of coming back from that. And it's always good just to sort of go into it with the mindset of like, okay, I'm not perfect. What did I do wrong here? And I'm definitely going to check the replays of these games afterwards and see what I could have potentially done differently as well, because I do think that's always important to improving your skill as a Yu-Gi-Oh player.
Definitely. And one of the things I will say about the DM era, even going to GX era, compared to maybe more modern Yu-Gi-Oh or even going to 2012, 13, 14 formats with the extra deck mechanics, is these have a relatively lower skill for players to come in and join, even with all those like blowout cards. It's very simplified, even if it's very simplified for people to come in and play them, quickly pick up on them, especially formats like this. So that's the one benefit we have to these DM era games.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely right. Like, if you think about it, the extra deck does exist in Fiber format. I mean, you can try and go into it. It's pretty
play
difficult.
Summoner of Illusions and we'll crank out
Yeah.
this fusion monster. Well,
Exactly, and some people have tried that, and if that ever does become meta relevant, then people will need to know that a bit. But even if it does become meta relevant, that's one deck playing it, using the extra deck. As is, if you join the format, you don't necessarily need to learn like typical extra deck monsters that you need to play around. And I'm not saying that formats with that sort of thing in it are bad, because I think that some of the best formats in the game's history have had that sort of thing. Because I do think that, Synchro era, Zexal era, and beyond is still very fun, even if it's very different from this sort of gameplay. But I do think you're exactly right, where these like games in this format very easy to pick up. After you learn a couple of the standard main deck cards that you're probably playing already, if you're picking up just a deck list online to get into it. So I do think that very easy barrier to entry here. And I encourage anyone out there who's interested in this sort of gameplay to try it out. Doesn't seem like the monthly tournaments are stopping anytime soon.
Nope.
And they've all been a blast to play, a blast with chain, as this one is.
Yeah, on that note of retro formats, not just Fiber, the amount of the independent DM era servers are picking up on different formats, and they're having their tournaments. Critter started a tournament today. There's chaos tournaments that happen occasionally. There's Yugi Kaiba gets monthly or bi-monthly tournaments. People are getting inspired to start their own tournaments for these and get more player involvement, because I think that's the biggest thing so far for these games is getting more players in, getting more players to be involved. It's going to be hard because, again, Goat, Edison, Meadowlands, Tengu, they're all super popular, and with good reasons. But I think with getting more people onto the server trying these games, the more we can dig in and see how good is good and maybe stuff we haven't discovered yet.
Yeah, and I've always been of the opinion, like, you don't have to lock yourself into one format. Like I know some people, like some people are just like, oh well, Edison's the best format ever. I can only play Edison. I got to just grind Edison. And to be fair, that will get you really good at Edison. And I don't think it's bad to have that mindset necessarily. Like people can enjoy what they want to enjoy, and if it's just Edison, then that's fine. But I do think that like expanding your horizons and playing different formats, one, it introduces you to other forms of this game and other fun forms of the game that you might enjoy. Two, it improves certain fundamentals, right? Like I think that if you get really good at like fiber format or vampire format, you'll get a really good idea of like tempo in the game, and that can be helpful in a variety of other formats. And I think it's just like good to diversify. Like, it's good also not to get burned out, right? Like if you play a bunch of Edison or Goat and you're like, man, I'm getting so tired of the meta in this right now. Like, I don't know, what if I just like quit the game? Like an alternative to that is just playing a different format and experiencing a new meta and a different change of pace. So I think there are a lot of advantages to playing variety.
Definitely. Me personally, I don't have a favorite format, so I just like to bounce in between them all the time. But obviously, people are going to lean towards Godis and Yetta because of a consistent player base, but I think we're picking up on some of our own consistency, so it's nice to have a regular crowd come in, and I think it can only grow from there.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's also is kind of wild because like if you look at some of the weekly Tengu events and stuff, and as you said, Tengu is one of the most popular formats out there. Like I think a lot of these tournaments are starting to like rival the attendance of some of those too. So that's pretty cool to see. And I'm planning on making a video sort of detailing like the different TM era formats all in one. Just saying like what might appeal to different people. So hopefully that also can help get people into playing these. But I just hope that the retro community continues to grow, as I think that that's one of the biggest strengths that Yu-Gi-Oh has. I mean, other games have historical formats as well, but the fact that they have set rotation makes it a little bit less unique than Yu-Gi-Oh, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And hey, that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here representing these formats, representing the community. I'm so enthusiastic about all this. It's nostalgic to me. I grew up with all these cards, and being able to experience it from a competitive sense or just casual, friendly competition is just awesome. So, power to you guys. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up here. Thanks so much to everybody coming to the chat. YFC regulars, maybe some newcomers. We have Janjo in the chat here. He's hanging out. Thank you, bsocks. Congratulations on being a 2-time undefeated fiber champion.
Yeah, thank you.
Hopefully
next month someone will take me down.
Yeah, well, don't have to sleep with one eye open. I don't know, man.
Exactly.
They'll be watching all your replays, and they'll be debunking how to beat the Tier 0 duelist.
Yeah. Well, I know I said last month I was like, well, I played Gearfried. I wasn't really the biggest fan of the deck. I'll hop onto something else this month. But next month I might just play the same deck because I had a blast playing this deck. And I think it is something where, a blast with chain, exactly. A blast with chain without blast with chain in the main, unfortunately. But I think this deck, it does have, like, I played, like, Recruiter Swap deck. And I think that it's a very good deck in the format, if not one of the best decks in the format. And I think I want to rep it again because I just had a lot of fun playing it.
Yeah, I was almost on it. I was on the rat package, so I was using giant rats to pull things out of the deck. But I have my own ideas to improve on that deck. I did make top 4 with a bit of with some luck, some skill, but anyway. I think that's a wrap for today. I might see you later tonight on the Imperial locals. I haven't decided if I'm going to join her yet, but this is the Fiber format monthlies. I am PJ Darkness. I'm happy to represent this community, possibly coming to you with more future streams. Happy to host these on behalf of our host, or even just on my own accord. And I'll see you guys in the Discord. I'll see you guys around.
Yeah, thank you so much for hosting.
All right, man. All right. Have a good day, everybody.